front, and there we see the flames again cropping up even after they've dropped water. Willa, what can you tell us?
Well, this is the view that you see of the fire down from the beach. I'm still at Pacific Palisades. We had actually hoped to go further up Pacific Coast Highway, but now law enforcement is not even letting any news crews through. They want to keep those roads clear right now for the fire trucks, the crews that are coming in to take over for those crews who have been working all night. So this is the view down from the beach near Gladstones here on Pacific Coast Highway. And with me now are two firefighters who have come in from Wyoming to help us fight this fire, Kim Kuhar and Scott Corser. And Kim, I'll start with you. You were saying that when the flames are as high as you have been watching them here from the beach, there is little that the ground crews can do. Why is that?
They're too high. They're too hot. I mean, something that's 4 feet high is really hot. So we just have to wait. It's more of an air show, air tankers, helicopters, and then also whatever the local fire departments can do for the houses and stuff.
So the firefighters that we see here with their yellow coats sitting on the beach, it's not that they wouldn't want to be fighting that fire.
No, we're not standing around. We're waiting till we can go in, and if we can go in. I mean, we dig a little handline that's like the size of a trail, and something that's really blazing like that, it's not going to do anything but get us killed if we go in.
You were mentioning something to me earlier, Kim, about for the hand crews, they like to dig a fire break that is 1.5 times the size of the flame, the height of the flame.
Yeah, and that's typical, but then again, it depends on the weather, too. Something with the winds, you know, it can change it. That's not really.
Okay, Kim, thank you very much. Now we are talking with Scott Corser. And Scott, what have been some of your thoughts as you're sitting here looking up in the mountains, seeing all that smoke and seeing the flames?
It's quite a thing, too. I wish we could help out on it. I wish there was more chance for us to get in.
We apologize for the poor audio quality of the signal from that location. As you can imagine, there is an awful lot of radio transmission and microwave transmission being sent from those locations. Television stations from all over the country are here, as our fire crews, and all of those radio waves are interacting with each other and causing interference like we've never experienced. But here we have a satellite transmission from Pepperdine University, and you can see that at least the signal here is clean, and also the one from Skycam 5. And we'll bring you those pictures as best we can throughout the morning here to keep you updated on what is going on. And we also have a crew in the Las Flores Canyon where the devastation there was quite complete. Many homes burning to the ground there, and perhaps Skycam 5, now that we have daylight, can go over the areas that were devastated last night in that fire. That tremendous fire that you can see there, the devastation. Everything is scarred. Everything is black, charred. It's almost as if the entire Santa Monica Mountains have been blackened. There's just small patches of green that you see here and there, areas that escaped damage, but it looks like a moonscape, and then you see the typical California green and gray and brown. But this is tragic. Look at the vast acreage there.
I was in through some of these areas late last week after some of the fires earlier, and it's an eerie feeling when you go through there and everything is blackened around you. It is just such an eerie feeling, and we can see that now. And Jennifer York is flying now above that area. Jennifer, what can you tell us?
Oh, it's just such a horrible sight to see these charred hillsides. I want to try and show you a home, though, that we watched on air yesterday, have about 50 to 60, 75-foot flames behind it as the fire just raged up the hillside. There were people that were standing there trying to spare their home. It was a newly constructed home, and they were standing there. They did not want to leave this area, and it was an interesting perspective to see them standing against these flames in front of them, coming up the back, the ravine behind the house, because the flames were just huge. We'll see if we can show you. That's one house. Pan to the right a little bit, Dave, and we'll show you. Again, look at the charred hillside, and then there's this home that stands alone there. It's just a very interesting perspective to see. There it is. That is the home that we watched. People just stand there right along the landscaped area that fortunately had not been landscaped yet with any trees or brush. The flames just was leaping over the embankment trying to get to that home, and then the winds just turned southwesterly and was able to, they were able to spare this home. It was an amazing sight to see the perspective of the, as tall as the people were against the incredible height of the flames. This is north of the Las Flores Canyon area, and you've asked us to, we've been asked to go down to the Carbon Canyon area. At this point, it's still very smoky, and we don't know if we can. Also, we're having to maintain about 4,000 feet here to stay away from all the aerial activity.
You know, it's really amazing, Jennifer. I saw those flames yesterday that you were describing, and within seconds that wind changed, and it just seemed like, you know, that house was picked to be saved, and it went immediately to the other's direction.
It sure did look like it was going to destroy this home, but fortunately it did not. These homes, or excuse me, these hillsides look as if there's snow on top of them, and actually it's just the charred remains of homes and brush. It almost appears black and white up here. I also wanted to try and show you Saddle Peak. We're still trying to locate that. It apparently has been spared. Are we able to get over to that?
Yeah, there was no interruption in communication, so apparently all the systems there are okay.
Exactly. It's amazing, though, Carlos, to see the hillside around it completely blackened.
All right, Jennifer, go back to that house that we were just looking at quickly.
Okay, we'll go back to that home.
This is what it looks like this morning. You can see that as you're flying away, I'm asking you to go back.
That's okay. We'll try and get over there for you.
But just look, you're right. It does look like snow, but it's tremendous to see such devastation.
That's beyond that.
An entire mountain range just scorched. What does lawyers call it? Scorched earth.
Yes, it looks like this is, the embers look like snow here. Okay, now, okay, just north of that, Dave. There you go. There's the home.
And you can see there what it looks like this morning.
Completely untouched.
Now, as you orbit around that, you will see, now this is what it looked like yesterday. People standing on the wall, watching the flames as if to be entertained by this fire.
And here you can see what Jennifer was talking about, that these people just standing there. It was amazing to see these flames leap over them. Is an incredible sight. Not to mention a very dangerous situation. You can see that man standing there. This is not recommended. The fire department will tell you that when they ask you to evacuate, they mean it. It is for your own safety. And
guys standing there going, it's so cool. You know, I can't believe people would do that. To me, I'd be running for my life, and this guy's standing there. But look at these flames.
Isn't that amazing? We were sure that this home was going to be completely engulfed by those flames.
And look at how the flames dwarf
and look at the trees,
house.
How they're blowing.
It looks like the entire world behind them is in motion.
You know what we don't get a sense here too? We see the flames, but the power and the roar. If we had audio from a shot like this, the heat, the power, and just the roar of the wind and the flames, the intensity is just amazing.
And then today.
And the hillside behind it is charred, and the home completely untouched. That is the power of the wind for you.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Now, we were able to show Saddle Peak as well. I think we'll have to go back a little bit. Again, this is another amazing sight to see the hillside completely charred around the Saddle Peak area where all the where the microwave center is, and then yet I believe this was untouched as well.
They do a lot of brush clearing around those microwave towers, and the brush is generally cleared, and it is maintained that way. And just a prime example of you can prevent things to burn down if you do you know, try and take care of it.
Well, they've been dropping water here all morning long in this area in Pepperdine, and look at it.
Yes, these are the ground shots now, and you know, you were talking about doing a lot of the brush clearance around those where those receivers are, but we've seen with the intense heat that sometimes that doesn't make a difference. But fortunately, in this case, it did. There, you can see them still standing, and you can bet a lot of radio and TV stations are pleased to see that standing.
It's amazing. Saddle Peak burned all the way around, and none of the towers or buildings caught on fire. This, of course, houses microwave equipment, cellular telephone equipment, television equipment, radio equipment, anything that you can imagine that has to do with communications is up on this peak. In addition to Mount Wilson, which, of course, also has several of these antennas. But amazing, everything around it is burnt.
And it's truly amazing. South of, I guess it would be north of Saddle Peak, about a mile, there are a couple homes that are still standing among this charred hillside. And it's incredible to fathom the randomness of this fire, where it hits some homes and completely avoids others. we'll pan it and show you. It's a little bit to the, see right below it there, Dave? Yes,
there we're,
in front of Saddle Peak.
we are looking at...
There you go. Look at the hillsides, and then look how this home remains.
You can see how close they are, those flames.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Well, these were the lucky ones. There were many that weren't so lucky. And this fire in Malibu, now over Pepperdine, is now approaching the student dorms. There you see the dormitory building. It has been evacuated, so those of you that may be watching us on CNN or other areas need not fear. Your children are fine. We can hear Linda Moore in the background preparing for her report. She's checking the microphones, but we need to tell you that since yesterday, Pepperdine University has been preparing for the eventuality of the fire coming toward its campus. Now you see that the flames are getting close to the dormitories. Linda, can you hear us?
These are actually the dorms for the faculty. These are not student dorms here, from what I'm told. But I just was talking to one of the firefighters a minute ago, and he was filling me in on how this all started. This was a fire that came up over the, started to come up over the ridge last night, and as with nightfall and the winds calming down a bit, they were able to keep the flames pretty much close to the top of the crest. But then around 4 o'clock in the morning, when the wind started picking up, up went these flames, and this is, according to the firefighters I've spoken with, really the closest that the flames have come to, actually to the campus of Pepperdine. You can see it is right across the street. It's just a small 2-lane road, and the fire is burning right down to the street. Of course, the number of crews, engines right up there at the top of the hill here, and they're hoping the road itself be used as a fire line, but of course we've seen what people thought turn into a very different story time and time again over the past week. Look, you can see the flames now just coming right up over the top of the faculty condominium, but the building has not been touched, so not one single structure at Pepperdine has yet been burned. You can see how very, very close it is, and how thick the smoke is now too. There's still a lot of fuel up here is the problem. So much is burned, but not all of it. And so the fire, being the hungry beast that it is just going after every little bit of fuel that's left up here on these dry hills. And of course the winds are helping it along just fine. And that's what residents here are worried about too. I was just talking to a resident a minute ago, and the fire burned right down into the backyard. However, there is still, as he says, just a lot of brush that the fire didn't yet burn. Fire crews in the back of the estates here, the Malibu Country Estates, have been setting some backfires, so I don't know what aerial shots you've seen, but likely some of what you have seen have been some of the fires that have been deliberately set by the fire departments, of course, hoping to get rid of whatever little bit of remaining fuel there is.
Linda, at this point, I need to just interrupt you for a second. At 8 o'clock in the morning, I need to remind viewers that you're watching KTLA TV Channel 5 in Los Angeles. And we're continuing our coverage of the Southland wildfires, and we are here with Linda Moore at Pepperdine University. As you see the flames now coming close to faculty housing there at Pepperdine University. The lens sometimes compresses the flames in the buildings. How far away are these flames actually from the back of that building?
Right across the street, really. There's, as I said, there's a 2-lane road up there that seems to be separating the flames from the building here. There's a lot of fire crews up there, though, and of course this is priority for them. They're really keeping an eye on this. And I think what also may be helping is that part of the parking lot at Pepperdine is being used as a staging area for many of the crews. So it will certainly help in coordinating their efforts if the flames start to get a little nastier. The wind's starting to pick up right now. You can see the flames are just moving right down there. Boy, this is a close one. You've seen a lot of support from the air. The choppers are landing just right down here in the staging area again of the parking lot of Pepperdine, so they're able to very quickly move in and drop water on this, which we have seen has been quite successful. But and there's also the fixed wings are up there too. Every few minutes or so, we've seen the fixed wings fly over the crest here and try to drop the water retardant. Yeah, I can actually we can not only smell the smoke, but I can hear it now.
Yes, I was just
I don't know if you can hear it, but boy, this is an ominous sound here. You can just hear the sound of the fire just eating away at the dry brush right on the hill, right across the street from the north part of Pepperdine campus.
Yes, Linda, I was just going to say you can certainly hear that wind through your microphone there. And also, I know that Pepperdine has their own fire department there on campus, and I know that they were also going to be used to help fight any flames that approach the campus. And I know that they are ready and standing by there, along with the county and city firefighters that are in that area.
Well, everybody's doing what they can. I'm seeing a number of students running up and down here with walkie-talkies in their hands. So I think that as we've been watching this in the last 20 minutes or so, this has become a little bit more of a concern than it was earlier. And maybe you can hear or see the...
Oh, we can hear it.
All the sprinklers are going all over the back hills here and all over much of the campus, too. So they're trying to keep the ground moist from the ground at the lower level, as well as, again, dropping that water from up above. I haven't seen any helicopters, though, in the last couple minutes. I see one coming up over the ridge now, so...
There There to the left of the screen, the bottom screen, we can see those firefighters just watching those flames,
just waiting for them to come over.
Yeah, well,
part of that is
carefully.
Part of that is the water conservation process. They want to make sure that they don't waste water, and part of that tactic is to wait for the flames to come to them, because those trucks can only hold so much water. I believe they hold about 500 gallons of water each. And then I would imagine, though, in this area, they're hooked up to hydrants, which is a fortunate situation.
Yeah, as I say, this was at 4 o'clock in the morning when this really started to whip up again. They thought that this fire here that was threatening Pepperdine late last night really had been pretty well taken care of. But according to the firefighters I spoke with, it really surprised them at 4 o'clock in the morning when the winds kicked up and all of a sudden the hot spots started, and this flames just started all over again, and spreading not just to campus, but right into this Malibu country estate area here, where there are about 100 homes. Fortunately, many of these homes were built, I'm told, within the last 7-8 years. So most of them, the ones that are closest to the flames, they've pretty much done everything that you can do to protect yourself from a fire like this. They've got the tile roofs, and they've got the right kind of construction. They've got all the dry brush cut away from the homes. They don't have any brush right up against the houses. They've got all the sprinklers on. There are residents up on the rooftops all morning watering down. So they've taken every single measure possible, and so far that has proven successful. Not one single home has yet burned here. And when I'm talking about the homes here, you can see the flames. The homes are probably, let's just say, one small block away. So that's how very, very close this flame has come to the homes.
Well, this fire appeared to be pretty much well in hand as far as the firefighters were concerned earlier this morning, when they started dropping the water on the front lines of the fire. But it appears that the winds have picked up enough that now we've got a significant fire line that has created, and we've seen it from the air. From this vantage point, we can see that firefighters are waiting for the flames to come closer to the buildings before they attack it. But this fire is continuing to threaten homes. We have Mayor Richard Reardon, who is speaking now in Malibu at a news conference, giving us an update on the efforts to fight the fires. Let's listen in.
Okay. What's going on up there?
Declaration of local emergency.
We are here at a news conference. You see Mayor Dick Reardon speaking. Councilman Browdy is just beginning to speak at this time.
Let us all pray together, each of us in our own way, and let us be very thankful for our extraordinary fire department and our extraordinary police department and the manner of cooperation in which they are engaged. I was up all night monitoring what goes on, and it is indeed remarkable. And the cooperation of our citizens, we have a lot to be very, very proud of. And we have a history to be proud of, too. We passed a wood shingle ordinance that prohibited wooden shingles in the roofs of new buildings. And in the Pacific Palisades Highlands, right up here there isn't a single home that has wooden shingle roofs. And that's one of the reasons why the fire department is confident that we're going to hold the line and we're going to keep the fire out of this area. In the older areas, it's a different story. The risks are higher because the roads are old and narrow, and because there are wooden shingle roofs. But The fire department, as of this moment, is confident. And I've seen police officers, and it's wonderful to see them all over, in control, managing everything competently and calmly. We have a lot to be proud and a lot to be thankful for.
This news conference being held right here on Pacific Coast Highway in the middle of sunset. Now a question asked, is this fire purposely set?
Yes, I think you have to be concerned. First of all, the Santa Ana winds are just incredibly devastating. They draw all the moisture out of...
It happens so quick, like, bam, you don't know what's coming. You think it's going to be, like yesterday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we're thinking, this is great, it's blowing this way. Like in 2 hours later, boom, it's right back again.
Last night, Busey walked about 10 houses up the street to get a better look at the blaze.
And we saw fire up there on that hill right there, 150 feet high. Boom. And the backfires being lit. The guys in the yellow and the orange uniforms down there right in the fire, like, hey, it's just part of the job.
But Gary had the most praise for the chopper pilots who repeatedly dumped their huge canvas bags in the Pacific Ocean in front of his house and then made their drops.
Those are the guys who saved the day. And we're here going, yeah, when they fly over us. Yeah, when they drop the water over the fire. It's incredible what they can do.
Rich Little's Malibu home was evacuated, and Little, who was in Las Vegas, anxiously awaited word of its fate.
There's a lot of great, valuable antiques in there, so you just hope and pray that that the wind shifts or that it doesn't get that far.
Mark Hamill was also evacuated, but amazingly, while the homes around his were destroyed, his was saved.
Our wood pile burned down. There's trees in our property that burned down, and yet our house and our structure is still up. It's absolutely phenomenal.
One person who was critically injured in the fast-moving fire was British director Duncan Gibbons, who was severely burned trying to rescue his cat. Coverage of the fire and the human tragedy has dominated the news in Los Angeles, with all major stations carrying continuous live coverage. And tonight, the CBS primetime show, How'd They Do That?, will open with a live broadcast from the fire-ravaged area. And finally, like many of his neighbors, Gary Busey still has his car packed in case of evacuation.
When you're in this kind of survivalistic situation, you don't have any other choice but to look at what's true to your heart.
The danger is far from over. Actor Rod Steiger, who has lived in Malibu for 39 years, puts it this way. You don't stop worrying about a fire if you live in Malibu until a good 3 days after they put it out.
In the action movie game, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Stand back. Here comes Jean-Claude Van Damme in a truly explosive new role.
Got it.